Okay, we're gonna be going over the milestone 3 tank game. Everything still moves and behaves the way that it should be. Here on the right you can see the little tank. Here you see the 3 AIs that I have. Blinky, Stinky, Pinky, God Butcher. They're moving, they're behaving, they have the same components. And they're shooting at me. So the map generation is through instantiating tiles. So on the game manager I have it attached to the level manager. Here it is. So here are the tiles that I have. These are just from the prefabs folder that I have. So I have the room tiles. It instantiates something from there. Here's the code for them, the level manager. So we have the instantiation going down right there. It creates the tiles. You can adjust the width, the height. So right now I have a 5x5. If I want to make it a 2x2, let's take these. Those are the power ups. So then I'll have a little 2x2. Or if I want to make it a 10x10, I'll have this large 10x10 going on. So right now, by leaving the seed number at 0 and having the room of the date not checked, it generates a random room every time. Here it is. And then again, if I try it, it generates a different one. And if I do it again, it'll generate a different one. So the ways that this works is in the level manager before it even okay, so the way that it creates the new levels is when the generate map is generated, it generates a seed, which it figures out if it's the room of the day. If it is, it makes the date the actual seed number and it returns that. If not, it if there isn't a custom seed, if it's set to 0, then it just returns a custom seed and that becomes a seed. Or if it is 0 and then it has to return a new seed, then it'll generate a random seed between 0 and this big number that I created, and then it will put that into the seed random generator thing, and then it will go in and it'll generate everything according to that seed number. 42 is my custom seed. If I want to set that as a custom seed, then we have this pattern here. And if I were to do it again, it's the same exact pattern. We have the 3 at the bottom, these 4. And I do it again, and it generates the same thing. The way this works is, if there isn't a 0 here, it'll generate a random seed. And then the seed is then applied to creating the level. So it creates a new level using that seed that it randomly generated by it picking a number from 0 to, I believe that's 100,000. So we have 100,000 different seeds that it could generate from, or we have even more if you want to put in a huge number on your own. If you have the room of the day, it'll generate this map, which is the room of the day. And if I do it again, it will again generate the same map. No matter how many times I generate it, it'll be the same map. They even spawn in the same place, and the pickups spawn everywhere in the same place. So how that works is here in the seed the generation for the seed, it takes the day or the month, the day and the year, it combines them together and it creates a seed number, and then that seed number becomes the room of the day, and every day is going to be different. Because so right now I don't have there is no player, there is no enemies, they're generated randomly from the game manager. So if you press play, then it generates the 4 enemies. Look here, they're created. It also generates the player, and the way it does that is each tile has a tank spawn, or it also has a pickup spawn. Right now I turned off the pickups, but then it randomly picks which one of these tiles is going to spawn us in, and then if we look closely, he was spawned from here, but now he's moving that way. He was spawned from here, but now it's moving in that direction. This one was spawned from this one, and then It doesn't want to spawn from this one, so it picks along the maps. It takes them into the game manager. Here it is, the tank spawn points. It takes them all in here, and then it randomly picks from that list of what locations they're going to spawn at, and then it spawns them there. So as you can see, I didn't have them in, or even if they disappear. They're not initially placed. This whole scene is empty, besides from the game manager or the other things that I have here. And also when they're being generated, they're still linked. Here's the enemy tanks. So now we have the power-ups. So let's say I want to put these amount of power-ups into the level. When I press play, it's going to put those power-ups in, and then you can see them created under this pickup holder, and it tells you which locations are at. So here's the health pickup, another health pickup. And that's a damage up, another damage up, speed, and they're all spawned in different places that the tiles have a pickup spawn. And then so for example, if I pick this one up and I go over to the player, here under, when I pick it up, you can see that the bullet damaged stat has changed to 60 rather than 30, which it once was. And then if I wait long enough, which I set to less than 10 seconds, it reverted back to 30. So after it's expired, and then it should create another one. So we go pick this one up, it disappears from the pickup holder. It's not here anymore. After the time runs out, it should spawn another one under this one, or it should destroy itself first and then create itself somewhere else. So here, that's where it created itself. Okay, so I have to go get damaged. So if he shoots me, my health dropped, and then I picked this one. This one's a permanent up, so you can see that my health increased. Back to what it was supposed to be. So I have this one that expires after some time. I have the spawn time after it's been used, and then the amount of time that it's active for the effect time. So if I want to make it active on the player for 20 seconds, then I'll set it to 20. If I want to make it for 10 seconds, then I just put it at 10. For these ones that are permanent, you just gain it, and then it sends the spawn time for when the next one's going to spawn in the map, and that includes so I think this one's only the only permanent one. The other ones are temporary. So you have a temporary speed up, faster fire, faster bullets, and higher damage. We have the game manager that has all the tank spawn points, the pickup spawn points, the enemy tanks, the tank datas, and everything. It's all set in the Singleton game manager. And all of my code is commented, as it's always been. Comments everywhere. And it's bug free. I've been playtesting. There's no errors or even warnings that show up. And organization of my project. Everything's pretty much organized. I have everything together, prefabs together, pickups, room numbers, tanks, images. Everything's pretty much organized. And for going above and beyond, it was I just made more pickups than necessary, and I made one extra tile room. So if I go to prefabs, the rooms, there's 4 tile rooms, and then for pickups, there's, instead of 3, there's 5. And then they all spawn in, and then you can choose how many you want to spawn in the level.